Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Love From Lizi's special edition kit called Liberty. This kit is not part of her monthly subscription and is available for purchase individually. I was super excited when Lizi showed me this kit since I love making patriotic cards. If you are interested in purchasing the Liberty kit, I do have links provided in the description box below. This is an exclusive kit. Once it sells out, Lizi won't be restocking it. So if you are interested, I would suggest not waiting. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I used some star dies and cut out 3 different sizes. The largest star, I used the blue pearlescent cardstock that's included in the kit. The medium-sized star, I used some white cardstock, and the smallest star features some of the pattern paper. I did add some foam dimension between 2 of the star layers to pop them up. For the background, I have some blue cardstock, and I cut it out using a stitched rectangle die from Love From Lizi. I'll add 3 peel-offs at the bottom of this panel. I'm using red and white in the straight style, and both of these are included in the kit. And I'm also adding a gold glitter peel-off in the pinstripe style, and this one is not included in the kit. Many of the pattern paper designs have the look of gold glitter, although there isn't any glitter on the paper, but I thought it would be perfect to bring in some of the gold glitter peel-offs. I'm using the grid on my craft mat and also the faux stitch lines on the rectangle die cut to get the peel-offs nice and straight across the card. I'll add the red peel-off on the top, the white on the bottom, and the gold in between. The straight style of peel-offs are all the same width, but the pinstripe have 3 different widths. I'm using the widest width for the gold peel-off. I'll wrap the ends of the peel-offs around the back, put adhesive on the back of this piece, and add my card front onto a card base. For adhesive, I'm using ATG tape and also some glue along that stitched edge. It'll help the card front lay nice and flat on the card base. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Next, I'll put glue on the back of the star and adhere it to the center of the card. I'm placing an acrylic block on top for some added weight while the glue dries. Now I'll start working on the sentiment. The stamp set that's included in the kit has several different sentiments. There's happy, and you can mix it with Independence Day or 4th of July, and there's also stars and stripes. The font used is really fun. The top portion has stars and the bottom is stripes. So I thought it would be fun to stamp the sentiment using blue and red ink. I'm starting with the stripe portion of the sentiment using Catherine Pooler's Rocking Red ink color. I have a piece of tacky tape, and I'm using it to cover up the very top portion of the sentiment. Then I'll ink up the stamp, remove the tacky tape, and stamp the sentiment. And I'll do the same thing so I can ink up the stamp to get a better impression. Now I'll start working on the top portion of the sentiment with the stars. Instead of masking off the bottom portion of the stamp, this time I'll add the tacky tape to the stamped sentiment. I'll ink up the stamp using Catherine Pooler's Suede Shoes ink color. And I will ink it up a couple of times to get a good solid impression. Now I'll remove the tacky tape, and here's my fun sentiment with the stars and stripes. I'll trim down the sentiment, put some thin foam dimension on the back side, and adhere it toward the bottom of the card right on top of the 3 peel-offs. The foam dimension I'm using is from Honeybee Stamps. It's their thin foam strips. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some more peel-offs, this time the mini white stars, and these are included in the kit. I'll put 3 in the upper left-hand corner using 1 of each of the 3 sizes and 2 on the right side of the larger star. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 2, I'm using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 42. This has quickly become one of my favorite sketches. I selected this lovely floral paper for the background, has lots of blue and red flowers. I'm adding a 1-inch strip of some red pearlescent cardstock, and this is cardstock that's included in the kit. Along the edge of that strip, I'll add some gold glitter peel-offs. I'm using the widest width. I'll wrap the ends around the back. Layer this piece on some blue cardstock, and the blue cardstock is from my stash. Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. I was trying to decide what direction the floral paper goes. Next, I'll add a couple of oval die cuts. The smaller one I cut out from the white pearlescent cardstock that's included in the kit, and the larger one from the same blue cardstock. I'll glue those two pieces together and adhere it to the left side of the card. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out the word celebrate. This is not included in the kit, but it is from a Love From Lizi stamp set called Kisses and Wishes. I'll put glue on the back and adhere the sentiment on the right side of the oval, following the design of the card sketch. Now I'll add one of the beautiful floral ephemera pieces. Then to finish off the card, I'll add some mini star peel-offs in the gold glitter color. Put 3 above the sentiment and 2 on the left side of the image. So there is my finished card, and this time I made a total of 4. There are so many beautiful floral papers and ephemera images in this kit. And even though the colors are very patriotic, they still work for other card themes other than Independence Day. I think this card design with the floral papers will be perfect for some birthday cards. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from Sketch Saturday. This is number 724. I selected this fun pattern paper for the background with lots of little girls dressed up as the Statue of Liberty. I'll be layering it on some blue cardstock. Toward the bottom of the card, I'm adding a strip of the red pearlescent cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base. Then I'll add the red pearlescent cardstock strip. For a little extra detail on the red strip, I'll add some more Love From Lizi peel-offs, this time the white color in the pinstripe style. I'm using the medium width and adding one just on the inside of that red strip. Since I already have my card front on my card base, I won't wrap those ends around the back. Instead, I'll flip over my card and trim off the extra. And I always save those extra little bits of the peel-offs. Using a 1-inch square die, I cut out 5 squares from some white cardstock, and I'll adhere them on the red strip following the design of the card sketch. When I was prepping my cards and looking through different card sketches, I came across this one and I knew it would be perfect with some of the ephemera pieces that are included in the kit. I did use a die to cut out all of the squares, but you could also simply cut out the pieces yourself. I'm adhering all of the squares using some glue. Now I'll add the ephemera pieces. There are 5 circles and it spells out I Heart USA. I'll adhere all of those ephemera pieces onto the squares to create the sentiment. It's always fun to come across a card sketch that will work perfect with certain elements you're trying to feature. I think it would also be fun to add some small images in those little squares. On the card sketch, there's a small bow in the lower left-hand corner. The bow die is from scrapbook.com and I used some gold mirror embossed cardstock. And the gold cardstock is from one of Love From Lizi's add-ons. And I believe it is still available. For a final finishing touch, I cut a small banner from the same blue cardstock and adhered it in the upper right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 4, the card sketch is from OWH. This is sketch number 159. I'm using this fun patriotic unicorn pattern paper for the background, layering it on some of the white pearlescent cardstock that's included in the kit. And I did cut a circle out of that pearlescent cardstock, and I'll be using that here in just a moment. Toward the bottom of the card, I'm adding a couple of peel-offs. I have the red in straight and blue in pinstripe. I'll wrap the ends around the back, put ATG tape on the back of this piece, and layer it on some light blue cardstock. Then I'll add my card front onto a card base. I bring cards every month to the residents at a local retirement home, and I always try to make sure there's enough cards for the main holidays. Many of the cards I'm making using the Liberty kit will be going to those residents. But for some of the designs, I decided not to make Independence Day cards. This is another example with all of the unicorns. I thought it would be better for a birthday card. I used Love From Lizi stitch circle dies to cut out the white circle die cut, and I adhered it down using some glue. I stamped out the sentiment Celebrate, and this is from the same Kisses and Wishes stamp set from Love From Lizi. I layered it on some dark blue cardstock, added an extra piece of that cardstock underneath the sentiment just for a little extra detail, and I'll adhere it toward the lower portion of this stitch circle. Next, I'll add one of the ephemera pieces, the little unicorn ears, horn, and eyes. Using the same light blue cardstock, I'll cut a small banner and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add more of the mini star peel-offs in the gold glitter color, this time using just the smallest size. I'll put 2 on the banner in the upper right-hand corner and 3 around the unicorn. It's a little sad this peel-off sheet is almost empty. I've already used up all the medium-sized stars. There's only 3 of the large size left and just a handful of the teeny tiny stars. It's a good thing I have another sheet. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The other card features fun heart pattern paper and a unicorn ephemera image. For card design number 5, the card sketch is from OWH. This is sketch number 161. I'm using this fun candy pattern paper for the background, adding a strip of white pearlescent cardstock, and I'll layer that piece on some dark blue cardstock. Along the edge of the white pearlescent strip, I'll add some Love From Lizi peel-offs. This is the white color with gold overlay, and I'm using the narrowest width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, and I'll first layer the pattern paper on the same dark blue cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Then I'll add the white pearlescent strip toward the bottom of the card. Using a stitched oval die, I cut out 2 oval die cuts, one from pattern paper and then a slightly larger size from some blue cardstock. I'll layer the 2 pieces together. Before adhering the oval to the card, I will put a scrap cardstock piece just on that top portion. That way everything stays nice and level. Then I'll adhere it in place using some glue. For a sentiment, I cut out the letters USA from some gold mirror cardstock that has a texture finish. I also cut out a second set of letters from some heavyweight white cardstock and glued the 2 pieces together, just to add some extra stability to the sentiment. I'll put glue on the back and adhere the sentiment toward the lower portion of the oval. I don't usually mix in gold when I'm making patriotic cards, but it looks really nice with this paper collection. I also cut out 2 small stitch star die cuts from the same gold mirror textured cardstock, and I did pop them up using some foam dimension. I'll adhere the 2 stars in the upper right hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The reds and blues in this paper collection are super vibrant. I really enjoyed making this set of cards. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 579. I actually made this set of cards before card design number 5, but apparently I recorded them in the wrong order. I'm using the same 2 pattern papers that I used on the previous cards. You can see that oval cutout that I used on the previous cards. I layered this piece on some dark blue cardstock. And I did cut out that pattern paper using one of Love From Lizi's stitched rectangle dies. It's hard to see the stitch detail in the video. At the bottom of the card, I'll add more of the gold glitter peel-offs in the pinstripe style. I'm using the medium and also the narrowest width. To help get the peel-off straight across the card, I'm following the faux stitch marks on the rectangle die cut. I'm using a craft knife to trim the right side of the peel-off. I was struggling a little right here trying to get one of the narrowest width peel-offs off. Doesn't help that I recently trimmed my nails fairly short. The nice thing about Lizi's glitter peel-offs, the glitter is all sealed, so it doesn't make a mess at all. Next, I'll add a couple of heart ephemera pieces, and I already have foam dimension on the back. I've already stamped out the sentiment Happy Independence Day, and I do have foam dimension on the back of that as well. For the cards I take to the retirement home, I hand deliver them so I don't have to worry about keeping them nice and flat. I can add all kinds of dimension. I'll remove the release paper, add the 2 heart ephemera pieces inside the oval, then I'll put the sentiment underneath. Using some of the gold mirror texture cardstock, I'll cut a small banner and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner. I like to call this a whimsical banner. I first cut a fishtail on the bottom, then I'll cut the right side in at a slight angle, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some of the mini star peel-offs in white. I'll add 2 above the sentiment on the left side and 3 above the sentiment on the right. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. It was fun creating 2 different cards from the same pattern paper, one featuring the sheet with the oval cut out and the other featuring the oval die cut. For card design number 7, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 639. The pattern paper has lollipops, bows, and cotton candy all over the background. I'm adding a wide strip of white pearlescent cardstock toward the top. Put adhesive on the back. I'll adhere it onto the pattern paper panel, then I'll flip over that piece to trim off the extra. Next, I'll add some of the blue star border peel-offs. This is a brand new style, and it's so fun that Lizi's included a blue and also a white in the kit. I'll add 1 border toward the bottom of that white piece and 1 toward the top. I'll layer this piece on some blue cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll add a stitch circle die cut, and I cut this out from some light blue cardstock. I'll adhere it in place using some glue. This card will feature one of the little girls dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, and I do have foam dimension on the back of the image. I'll adhere the ephemera piece onto the circle die cut. I've already stamped and cut out the sentiment, Happy 4th of July. I really like the look of the blue for the stars and the red for the stripes on the sentiment. It is a little extra work by masking it out, but it's not hard to do. I'll layer this sentiment on some blue cardstock, put foam dimension on the back, and adhere it underneath the image. For this card, I did pull out some thicker dimension since it'll be one going to the retirement home. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a few blue stars around the image. I first thought about using the mini white stars, but instead I'll use the blue stars. It's fun that the star border has that border piece and also the inside star pieces. So it's a 2-in-1 peel-off sheet. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The second card shows the white star border peel-off. And the card kit includes a sheet of the white star borders and the blue star border peel-offs. Now here's another look at the 16 cards I made using Love From Lizi's Special Edition Liberty Kit. This is a fun and vibrant patriotic kit, and it's full of crafty goodies. There's a full 6x6 paper pad, a stamp set, specialty cardstock, coordinating ephemera, and 6 of Love From Lizi's amazing peel-off sheets. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. This is an exclusive kit and quantities are limited. If you are interested in purchasing it, I would suggest not waiting. Once it sells out, Lizi won't be restocking it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.